But we're not alone. This is our holiday episode, and we really felt like there was no one better to have as a guest. We're going to talk about his Christmas album, the holidays, the whole nine. He's back on the 116 Life. We have Tadashii in the building.
Yo.
What's going on, T-Dot?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
How you feeling?
I'm well. I'm doing good.
Looking good, man.
Thank you, bro.
Looking good, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. How's I mean? Got the cargo pants with the cream and the black. Looking good, man.
I'm trying, bro. I want to be on your level.
Man, you setting your goals too low, bro.
Hey, man. Okay, there it is. Then.
That's like my humble clap back.
Okay.
When you like the humble awards when you like.
Well, both of us pale in comparison to thine glory.
Thine glory is crazy.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, Meah, the shoes.
Man, I told
like
y'all
loafers
I'm
are having
trying.
a moment right now.
Loafers are having a moment.
Loafers are having a real moment, but burgundy loafers is crazy.
Bro, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I went out on a whim. My mom always told me growing up, all you need is black shoes because they go with everything. So I'm trying to diversify my closet and shoes, things like that. Man, we can talk about fashion all day, but really quick, I want to just dive into just the holidays, man. I just feel like, of course, the album sets the tone for that and the conversation and even, I guess, the times we're in. But I'm just curious, what does the holidays look like for you and your family around this time of year?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, the holidays look like ignoring Thanksgiving. That's what it looked like.
Dang.
Absolutely.
That's how you feel?
Are we there? I feel like we there in America.
Hold on. Let's time out for a second. You be skipping over Thanksgiving?
Mariah Carey has already thought out.
Nah, bro.
We're already
I've said this on
seeing-
this show a couple times. Y'all gotta stop skipping over Thanksgiving, y'all.
I'm not gonna lie. We don't skip it. We will have a moment for the holiday, but it's kind of like an in-between moment of the holiday season.
Sure.
It's not necessarily its own focus anymore.
Okay.
Like cats in my neighborhood got lights up already.
Yeah,
I went yesterday to Target. I took my son to Target, and I was like, "There are just Christmas. Like Christmas been out since since Halloween was over. Like that's what it is, bruh."
I feel like, obviously, some people do not celebrate Thanksgiving for reasons that I think are legit, like in terms of its history.
Sure.
I don't subscribe to the history of how it was founded. I subscribe to the act of giving thanks, being with your family, and I think Thanksgiving is not as. Please don't judge me as a pretentious holiday. Sometimes Christmas comes with weird expectations culturally of like giving gifts, expecting gifts. So that makes it less exciting for me at times. That's all I'm saying.
Thanksgiving can feel like the quiet before the storm.
For sure.
It does.
That's a good way.
It is a good holiday to ease you into a holiday season. But I will say for the majority of people in the world that I know, Thanksgiving is a day to cook and eat. It ain't a day to celebrate nothing. They just moving on. I got a day off, I'm cooking and eating, and I'm moving on with my life. Kids are like, what is the holiday? It don't matter, we out of school. Like that's all that matters now. But that is kind of the start of it all for us. I started really getting in the Christmas spirit November 1st, like legitimately. So around my house, there's decorations, there's the Advent calendar, there's this idea of kind of priming the hearts of my children for what it means to give before the month even shows up, so that they can start recognizing like, it's okay if someone gets something and you don't, because we want to be givers. That ain't an easy lesson.
Sure, especially like a young child.
You know what I'm saying? Like a 9-year-old is not really vibing with the idea of like, why they get something and I didn't. Like that's a rough one for them. But I'm trying to prime their hearts. But beyond that, honestly, it's just the fun of playing the music, putting the stuff up. And for children, it's kind of from my vantage point, it's kind of a look and listen and learn moment. But for adults, in my experience, it's nostalgia. I'm reliving. That's everything. True. I'm like going out and doing all the stuff that I saw growing up, and I'm kind of reenacting it, putting up the stockings, putting the garland around the house, decorating the table, all of that.
It's good.
When you talked about your kids priming them on giving, that stood out to me. What did that look like? What was that journey like?
Well, here's one of my children now. Hey, son.
Hey, can you sit on this lap for effect, please?
Gross. So, for effect. What's up, man? Kidding. Hi, son. So giving looks like you wanting someone else to have something. I think a lot of times, I'll speak for my family. I won't put this on everybody else. I recognized a few years ago how I had conditioned my children to think they all will get something equally. Because whenever I travel, I come back home and I went to Australia one time and I went to Australia and came back with boomerangs. And flex, right? You know what I'm saying? That I bought boomerangs in Australia, not off Amazon like some of these lames out here. Oh, sorry, I went too far. Merry Christmas. So
what's going on right now?
So I came back with boomerangs and I gave them to my kids, but I realized they were mad that they didn't get, one had a bigger one than the other one. One was different. And I was like, oh, I've messed up. I've conditioned you to think you're going to get equal, and equal means that it's fair and loving. Oh, my bad. So I started like just giving one person something. Like literally all this year, I just been like, here you go. Here goes some chips. I want it. Nah, nobody gets everything equally in life. And that's not fun in the moment, but they're starting to learn. Oh, they hurt. They brokenhearted, boy. But they learn in the moment. It's like, that's how it goes. So
yeah, shout out to Tadashii for the parent vibes, man.
Yeah, for real.
That's crazy.
Tell them I went with you to Australia. I got boomerangs.
Oh, that's right. Cray went with me to Australia. We both got boomerangs. Cray is one of
T.I.'s kids for real.
Listen. I will say though, me and Cray were in England one time, and he was going through the airport, and I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm getting gifts for everybody. And later in life, we learned not to shop at the airport. But at that moment, we shopped at the airport, and I was like, what are you getting? He was like, man, I'm gonna get a piggy bank so my kids learn to save. And I was like, it blew my mind. I was like, I got piggy banks for everybody. But fast forward, those piggy banks are on a shelf somewhere that none of them care about now. So I learned it wasn't just getting the thing for them, but actually instilling the principles. That's just good. Getting a piggy bank didn't do anything. Just buying a boomerang didn't do nothing. But it's spending the time with them so they see it and then modeling it for them. So I'm like, all right, well, Dad's gonna go give today. So we, the Hebrew word for kindness, compassion, giving, tzedakah, we keep what we call tzedakah bags in, oh yeah, you got it on your hand. We keep tzedakah bags in the car, especially around the winter, because there are people who are houseless, who need blankets, who need soap, who need water. Like I started giving gallons of water to people around the city. And I was like, man, do you need another one? Are you thirsty? And he was like, no, I'm gonna bathe with this. And it clicked for me. Dudes need water, ladies need water so they can, for hygiene, not just for drinking water. They're like, I can go to a water fountain and drink. This is gonna help me clean myself. It blew my mind. So I started keeping water in the car. Like I go to Costco, get big packages of water. And so my kids know now, like, Dad, look. And they call it out. We walk over, give him his stuff, so meet him. Bro. But I want them to see me model the thing that I'm trying to tell them. And then hopefully, as we go through more holidays, Lord willing, they gain a heart of giving. That's the hope.
That's super good. You
said a mouthful, bro.
I know. I'm like, where we go from here? That's
so that kid's spoiled.
Almost, bro. That is true.
How you said
why?
Speaking of kids,
why are y'all so chill with this moment?
I mean, it's happened a lot.
Yeah, I see. This like
it happen a lot.
This is the third time.
Y'all,
and you know what?
Why are y'all so chill?
To go to the Deep End Studios, and we're all gonna jump on Cray's podcast.
We're gonna, for sure.
We all gonna do it. Matter of fact, the Atlanta location for the tour.
Yo, that's
we're all
right.
just gonna jump on stage. I think we should all do it.
You were. Because I love Tadashii, so I just I came to hear what he was gonna say. I could have listened over there.
That's true. Off camera.
I could have listened over there.
Not underneath me so much, but that's fine.
But I wanted, like, I called him the other day and I was eating some rice cakes.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I was crunching, so I just wanted to crunch in the microphone and open up my pan and just, you know what I'm saying?
The audio.
It's an ASMR episode.
Your editing skills gonna be on 10 on this one, bro.
I appreciate Flex off to the side, just showing love.
The Flex is just like, this is another day in the world of Lecrae. He's like,
it really is. Really, Flex is like, I told this man we had 2 things to do, and he over here now. Flex like, I told this man we had 2 things we had to get done. This man over here. What's up, Flex? What's up, bro? Y'all was just so chill with it. I was like,
it's happened before.
Okay, so you're used to it.
You know what?
Used to it.
I will say this. Shout out Lecrae for still being a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Young at heart.
Young at heart. I think that's speaking of like childhood. You could just give a quick, like, how was it, the nostalgia that you're trying to remember? How was Christmas holiday season? I hope I ain't pulling out no pain points.
No,
okay.
not at all. Like, well,
I was like, you crying over there?
My dad,
that's a tough question for some people.
Really, honestly, bro, what made Christmas feel like Christmas for me growing up was when all the relatives would come back home. And this is my childhood vantage point. Other people could have a different vantage point. But growing up, my mom was like the extended family cook. Like, people knew, like, my mama finna throw down. So they would all come to the house. Even if they weren't staying the entire holiday season there, at some point, people were gonna come over to visit, to eat, and also just to kind of hang out. And I grew up with one cousin that was my age. Everybody else was older. Like, way older. So I'm like I grew up, I remember being in elementary school, and one of my mom has a brother, my uncle, all his children were older. One of my cousins pulls up from college in a convertible and picks me up in like the 3rd grade. So I'm like, those are my cousins. I'm like, they grown. So he's gonna take me to get ice cream and be nice, but that's it. So I didn't have the camaraderie. I just had the moments where they would pop in and I'd be like, this is so cool. And so I want that for my kids, to feel that feeling of like, man, around Christmas, everybody gets together, everybody feels connected, there's a unity, there is a sense of fun and lightheartedness in the air. You know what I'm saying? It ain't lighthearted when your mama making you clean, so when people come over, it's clean. But when it's done, it's lighthearted. So that's kind of what I want for them, man. I want them to feel the Christmas vibes going through the house with the music, the smells, the visuals with the decorations, and then for people to come in and engage, that's or we good, go. Man. Like, that's been the biggest thing for me, bro.
That's okay, correct. So you said smells, so I gotta ask, what kind of smells we talking? We talking food type smells?
We're definitely talking scented candles.
Okay.
I am a fan of Christmas scented candles. Now, I am gonna break some people's heart.
Go ahead.
I don't care for cinnamon. It's a very unpleasant scent for a candle to me.
It can be overbearing.
Y'all so bougie.
I know it's bougie of me, but it can be overbearing.
I can see that.
Yeah, bro. I want wintergreen. I want like a mist of sorts, like a freshness in the home. But food-wise, like I inherited my mama's cooking skills. My mama, when I was 9 years old, she grabbed me, she took me in the kitchen, and she said, come with me. And I go in the kitchen, and I'm hyped, like she finna make something. And she pulls out a pan, she gets the eggs, and she says, I'm gonna teach you how to cook some eggs, because the way you eat, ain't no woman gonna wanna cook for you. And I was just like, okay, mama. Okay.
Yo, that is amazing. Shout out Mama Tadashii.
So I was like, cool, but I was grateful for it, because by the time I got to college, none of my friends knew how to cook, but I could. But anyway, Christmas is a time where I'm definitely gonna cook a turkey. I'm gonna smoke a turkey and smoke a brisket.
Ooh, it's gonna happen. I'm going over to Tadashii house.
It's definitely gonna happen. But then beyond that, I grew up with my mom's like macaroni and cheese. She would always do weird, like it'd be macaroni and cheese and a like broccoli, rice and cheese casserole. And then she would make her version of green beans and then candy yams, and then there would be dressing, and then I mean like from scratch dressing. And then she would always always bake, and there would be, bruh, seriously, upside down cake, pineapple upside down cake, sock it to me cake, 7-Up cake, a cheesecake. Then it would be pecan pie, sweet potato pie. All
right, stop, man. I'm about to get some food, bro.
Bro, it was like a spread.
I haven't said anything because I'm salivating.
I'm Tadashii, bro. Like,
it would be a spread. She would make a spread. I'd be like, are you finna feed a military unit? Man, like, what are you doing? But that's just how she grew up cooking, so that's what she still do. And so I kind of inherited that trait. So I always tend to make more than enough and then like save it for people who gonna stop by.
And did you guys get with your mom in the holiday season normally? Okay.
It depends. Now that we live in Georgia, going back to Texas, we got to kind of break it up and figure out what we're doing. And it's weird, man. This is my complaint, I guess. But I'm like, why everybody, when they get older, think you need to drive to them? Like, everybody in Texas be like, when y'all coming back? We like, when you coming here? we got to pack up everybody.
Yeah.
But it's just one of you. You could just come here, but that ain't gonna happen. So, but yeah, we try to go back for the holidays and connect with everybody.
But we was talking offline. I know y'all some haters. I love Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. But I know we can. You know. Sometimes with food, I think we were just talking about how food is really something that brings people together. I was saying that it has like a spiritual component to it.
It does.
Can you talk about your love for cooking, your love for using food to bring people together, and how like God uses that gift in you, man?
Yeah, man. So I was one of those kids growing up who loved when company come over. I was also the kid that would love when we go visit other people and pretend to be asleep so they would have to leave me and it would turn into a sleepover. Nobody else did that?
No, I did it.
Okay.
Yep.
I was like, yo, we would go visit people and then I would fall asleep on the floor or something, and I wanted them so bad to just be like, just leave him. We'll come pick him up tomorrow. And then I get a sleepover. But, anyway, it's so random. I'm sorry. No. But growing up, I always saw my mom hosting people. So I think that's kind of where I got it from. Cooking became a part of the bigger construct of loving to host people. I love to host people. I love to create an ambiance, a scene, provide food, give people an experience to where they feel cared for, comfortable, welcomed, all of that.
Sure.
So oftentimes, like I worked in ministry for years. I did college ministry for years on staff at different churches. And one of the things that I ended up doing, even though I wasn't paid for it, was working with the hospitality team because it was always fun to decorate, set up stuff, host, make people feel welcomed. And so a lot of times I would find myself kind of playing both roles during the services, during the meetings. But yeah, that's always been a passion. So cooking is just an extension of that.
Yeah.
And then during the pandemic, cooking kind of became a outlet.
Really? Say more, yeah.
Yeah, it became a creative outlet. Cooking was this thing that I could do, that I could create different things with and hopefully provide somebody with enjoyment. So I'm like, all right, let me see. Like all I have in the refrigerator right now is fruit, a couple things, a couple sauces, this and this. What could I make with this? And then trying to figure it out and then see if they will like it. So it just became another outlet for creativity. And then eventually I started to recognize how much you could do with a little. And so it started to stand out more. But also there's this almost, for me, there's almost this release of sorts. I feel less stress
when you cook,
when I'm cooking.
That's good.
It for some reason it puts me in a different world, and so I don't feel like I'm laboring. I feel like I am I'm finding joy, pleasure in the moment.
Right.
So it ends up being way more cathartic, way more relaxing and fun.
This actually, you used the word hospitality earlier, and it reminded me of the moments I've seen you live that out. So we have a Reach Christmas party that we do every year, and Meah, one year, Tadashii was like the official party planner and like pretty much the food organizer, and was over everything, the decorations. I mean, and you have like a very kind of personality that really takes the lead on that kind of stuff, and you make everybody feel welcome. Is there a time is that just how you naturally wired, or, and I have a hard question for you, are you kind of sometimes trying to give the people something that you may not have had at times? Like, is there a time in your life, is there something that's sparring or kind of like pulling that out of you? Because I feel like you just always been a very hospitable and bring people together person. Yeah. But I'm wondering if there are moments in your life or even currently where you feel like I'm going to respond to give out what I probably am not getting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
come on, go deep with us, Ace. Go deep with us, bro.
I just have to, because I mean, okay, to be honest, for context, the holiday season is a beautiful time. The Advent, the coming, like the birth of Christ, and we cannot skip over how the holiday season brings out tough emotions in people and us, loss, grief. So I just think we need to make sure we mention that as part of the holiday season. Because this ain't like a rosy fireplace tale for every family. It's some deep stuff. So talk about that a little bit.
So my desire for being hospitable, I think really did come from my excitement growing up when people would come visit. Like I don't do well with routine. And I don't say that in a negative way, because I think there are people in the world who are wired in such a way that routine feels like it's right, good, and true. And then there are other people like myself who'd rather live in a spontaneous kind of free fall way and still within boundaries. But I think boundaries to someone who cares about routine still looks haphazard. So just having boundaries without routine feels haphazard. So I'm like, I've learned to be free in that. And I always just wanted to go. I always just wanted to be adventurous. So when I got to college, one of the things that I would do in order to make friends is I would invite people to my apartment and I would cook. Because I realized if I can get you around a meal and engage you in something more than just the busyness of life, maybe we'll be able to go deeper. And I've always had this idea in my head to earn the right to be heard. So I take that everywhere I go. In relationships, in talking with strangers, on stage when I perform. When I'm on stage performing, I always start with like 4 songs. And I don't want to just do one song and start talking. I want to earn the right to be heard. I want you to be there and feel like, yo, man, he giving me so much music. Like, go ahead, bro, what you got to say? And it's like, that's okay, dope. I've earned the right to be heard. When I was in college, I'm inviting you to my house. I'm not just going to try to like force you into something that's uncomfortable. I'm gonna feed you, make you feel comfortable, make you feel welcomed, and then eventually work my way into trying to recognize if I've earned the right to be heard. But that's how I always found myself connecting with people, was through being hospitable. I think in life, I definitely have experienced, even from a young age, those moments where loss and hardship were around, they were real, but there was always this feeling of joy when people came back. I have kids, so for people who don't have kids, please forgive me, but there is a cartoon based on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood called Daniel Tiger. You know Daniel Tiger?
It's based on Mr. Rogers?
Yeah, it's based on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Bro, I was today years old when I found that out.
Daniel Tiger, so Mr. Rogers used to go on make-believe trips, and he would go ride the train and go to a place, make-believe, and Daniel Tiger was one of the people in that make-believe place.
Same character?
Yeah, so they just made a show.
I found out just recently too. Shout out to my nieces. Yeah.
So Daniel Tiger has a song called Parents Come Back. And so it's like when they leave, grown-ups always come back. And so it's kind of to calm a kid down if you're leaving them. And so I grew up with a younger sister, but she was younger. She was a girl. We were cool, but we didn't like the same stuff. We're in the same stuff. So I tended to be, as the oldest, the only person like me wherever I went. I'm a guy, biracial, not really into the same thing people are into. And I found myself kind of feeling on the outskirts often. And so when people would come around, I would always get excited. Like, this is cool now. I feel fun. Like, people are around. This is great. And then, life would happen and some hardship would show up. Like, I remember right before the holidays, I won't say names. Anyway, right before the holidays, we get a knock at our door. The door opens up, and it's one of my relatives standing at the door with a literal like hatchet in his skull from a fight. And he came to my mama and was like, I need help.
Well, hold on.
Yes.
A man got a hatchet in his head.
Yeah. Got into a fight. They cracked his skull with a hatchet and he got away, came to our house because he trusts my mama and was like, I need help. And I'm standing at the door watching this man about to pass out, bleeding all over his face. Sorry, I just went graphic real quick.
No, it's good.
But I'm watching him and I'm just like, yo, man, what is happening right now? So I got a Christmas tree in the corner and out the peripheral, and at the front door, him and my mama's standing there like, well, hold on. Let me get dressed. Come on. And then she's taking him to the hospital. And I'm just like.
So does the hatchet still in the head?
Unfortunately not. That would have been a cool thing to still see.
I'm sorry. I can't get over.
No, it's all
I mean, it's like a Halloween scene.
You see that in
cartoons? It was. It like Halloween Christmas. That's how it was.
Halloween.
But it's just
sorry,
one of those.
I don't mean to laugh at your uncle.
No, it's good. And he fine now. But it's like, yo, you end up realizing, man, there's so many things that happen in life that can kind of be disruptive to the holiday or dismissed because of the holiday. And there are so many people who bury what they feel because they want to make sure the holiday spirit stays high for the other people. And maybe, just maybe, if they do that, it'll somehow benefit them as well, and they don't have to feel what they really feel. And emotions are meant to emote. They're meant to flow through you. If they don't flow, like, movement is health in every regard. I don't care if it's emotional, physical, spiritual, mental, movement is health. So anything that stays stagnant ends up becoming grotesque in some way. If you live a sedentary lifestyle, at some point it becomes unhealthy. I think about it this way: water. If you got a bucket of water outside your house or a puddle outside your house, if it remains over a certain amount of time, it becomes stagnant, it becomes grotesque, it starts to fester, bacteria, bugs, all this stuff starts to come around it. You leave a bucket of water outside long enough or a puddle long enough, green scum starts to form, and it starts to become unsafe, unhealthy. You can't drink it because it stayed stagnant and let everything come in. But a river that's steadily flowing is fresh water to drink. You can drink that. That's why when they advertise water in bottles, they show these rivers and mountains. Oh, it comes from the Rocky Mountains, and it shows it flowing because movement is health. And so with emotions, when you let them sit and harden and fester, it becomes more and more unhealthy for you. But if you can let them move and flow, health follows. And good. I'm trying to find my health by staying in that place of letting it move. And I'm hoping for the holidays, people will do the same. Like, it's okay to want the good vibes of Christmas, but don't sacrifice your health for letting emotions move to prop up something that won't serve you.
Dang, that is great. That metaphor and analogy is phenomenal.
Thank you, bro.
Don't let it sit and fester. Yeah. I think some people definitely need to hear that, man, because holidays is a time of celebration, joy, and also suppressed grief for the purpose of joy that I think robs people of really living out and experiencing the fullness of it. Yeah. Because we all know in the birth of Christ, which was a beautiful time to welcome him into this world to disrupt humanity. Yeah. But it's like, you can't talk about the birth of Christ without talking about the death of Christ and the resurrection, because it's not singular. It's, say more.
Well, before you get to even the death of Christ, the beauty of it is, for unto us this day a child was born in Bethlehem. My God. Like, I get emotional just thinking about that verse. Like, for unto us, like us, like he came for us. Like, this is crazy to me. But when you think about the context around his birth, there was a literal genocide happening.
That's true. Yeah.
In order to stop him, because King Herod felt threatened by a new king coming and taking his place. And I'm just like, there are babies being killed because this king selfishly wants to remain in power. And he's doing it kind of like how a parent would be like, well, I don't know who broke the vase, but I'm gonna whoop all of you and I'll get the right one. He's like, well, let's just kill all the babies. And then that way I'll get him. And it's like, yo, the trauma, the harm that he brought to so many families for generations because he just wanted to kill the one, and he still didn't get him. And so I'm just like, Jesus came to us amidst so much hardship. So I don't want anybody to dismiss the hardship for the fun of the season, but it's like, yo, do you realize what this gift given to you came through to be here? So I don't want you to dismiss the hardship that you go through in life because you want to make other people feel better, or you want to try to uphold some tradition that doesn't serve you in honesty. And so I've learned to just be as real as possible. I'm like, I can't talk about his birth without thinking about the crucifixion, but I can't move past to the crucifixion without really thinking about his birth and like what was happening. And honestly, they're going, Mary is going and Joseph are going to be counted in the census, but that kind of saved his life. The fact that they were on the go. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yo, man, I'm blown away that God would bring him into this world for us, but then like keep him, protect him. If I'm a soldier, I'm looking in every hotel. I'm looking in every family home. I'm not looking in a stable. I'm not looking in a cave.
For sure.
I'm looking every place that makes sense. And so I'm like, he's protected. But like, bro, I don't do any more of the fake it till you make it. I'm like, nah, I ain't got the strength to even fake it. So let me just go here and be real. And whomever will be real with me, please be real with me.
Man, that is amazing. Man, I definitely want to just, let that marinate before we get to the next segment. Mm-hmm. Appreciate you, man, for your honesty and just.
That was a great question, though.
Just helping people have something to hold on to.
Amen.
And not skip over.
Yeah, bro.
Because, loss, grief, hardship is all part of our story, which God allowed. And he can empathize because he was born in the middle of a genocide of killing babies, And so I think that's just a beautiful picture we can kind of cling to give us hope.
When it comes to 'Tis the Season, I feel like when it comes to making Christmas music, because everyone gives their take on the classics and things like that. When you go into it, giving it your own, you're trying to think, okay, how can I make this my own? And we also talked about authenticity and things like that through this conversation on and off air. So twofold question. When it comes to authenticity, sonically and creatively, how did it come about creating for 'Tis the Season? And then even also talking about not suppressing emotion and things like that in the project. How did it come across you being authentic when it came to creating 'Tis the Season?
Yeah. So making 'Tis the Season, I knew when I decided I wanted to do it, like literally prayerfully going, I'm gonna sing for Christmas music. And that's intimidating because I am not the guy who's doing gospel runs everywhere.
There's a run on the first song though.
There is.
It's pretty good.
As I aim to learn to do that more, what I'm really doing is trying to just be authentic to myself, even in that moment. That I'm gonna sing. I'm not gonna rap. I'm not gonna try to do the thing that would be common. But I want to be authentic to myself for the fullness of who I am. And I also want to be authentic to Christmas music. I learned you can be creative, but creativity with something that is so staple for people tends to feel too jarring often. So I wanted to be as traditional as I could with some stuff while being intentional to put my own signature on it, if that makes sense. And then I didn't want to run away from what I was feeling as I was making it, so it kept me true. So for instance, when I did Back Home for Christmas, that is a song that singing live, I might struggle with a little bit. Just because some of those notes, it was like, let's go back and do that again. Let's go back and do that again. Because I learned I was stretching myself as I was trying to make the project. But then there are other songs where I'm like, I can sing that all day. That's easy. But it's because I had to stay true to what I was really feeling. Oh, I'm afraid because cats will roast you if you ain't good. I'm afraid because I really do love the label. So I want this to be a win for more than just me. And I'm feeling a little bit of shame because I'm comparing myself to other people who also make Christmas music, who also sing, all of that. But what I had to embrace was that I'm enough. What I am is enough. I'm a nerd at heart. I really love Marvel movies. I grew up reading comic books. There's in the Marvel movie Endgame, at the beginning of the movie, they're trying to find Thanos. Like Thanos has done the snap, the whole nine. And one of his daughters, she's standing there, and I forget her name right now, the blue one. But anyway, they're looking for him, and she was like, I can tell you where he is. So they go to where he is, and they do recon, and they come back, and they're like, yo, there's no one here. It's just him. And she says, and that's enough. And I heard that, and it stood out to me the same way Lethal Shooter stands out to me with, now I understand. Mm-hmm. Now I understand. Mm-hmm. Like, now I understand it. Like, it stood out the same way. It's just him, and that's enough. And I could feel spiritually God being like, it's just you, and that's enough. That's enough. You got it. So I was stepping out in faith, fighting and battling emotions, and being honest about them, and then doing what I knew to be true of myself as I pushed myself. I hope that answered the question.
No, you did.
Okay.
You did. When it came to being in the studio, because I'm really curious to, of course, shout out to V Rose, who to me is one of the most underrated artists in our space, because she's consistently been so great. Along with her being a collaborative piece of the project, even like producers and things like that. I'm curious, like how was it keeping them around you, having them a part of it, push you, keep you grounded, keep you in that authentic space?
Yeah. So one, shout out to V Rose. V Rose, I'm no exaggeration. I recorded for my song Christmas Call, and I literally stopped. Like as I finished recording, I put the headphones down, and I was like, because we were creating in the moment, and I was like, this needs to be a duet. There needs to be a woman here. And I paused, and I literally just put my head down. I was like, God, who should it be? But literally before I could finish the words out loud, V Rose came to my mind, and I laughed to myself like, would V Rose do a song with me? Like, because I'm like, she can sing.
Yeah.
She can sing. So I was just like, we'll see. And I reached out to her, and she was like, one, it's good to hear from you too. I would love to do it. I sent her the record. She was like, this is fire. I would love to do it. And she wrote her part in like a couple days and sent it back, and it was amazing. Mm-hmm. But besides V Rose, I got to show love to Zach Paradise.
Shout out Zach Paradise.
Zach.
We have him on the show.
Zach Paradise. Zach was an intern here in 2015. That's when we met. And eventually we built a friendship, and then eventually found we were kindred spirits. And before long, I'm being hospitable and like, yo, you hungry? I'm hungry. Let's get food. Mm-hmm. And honestly, it's just one of the ways I show love. To this day, I'm like, you hungry? Let's get food. And he's like, I'm grown. I can buy it. I'm like, it's cool, bro. I got it. Mm. But like, he was the driving force to reassure me that I could do this. He was the primary producer on everything, but he's also a singer-songwriter and vocalist and artist in his own right. So he was there to help write some of the songs with me. He was there to help vocal coach at times. So he was a real integral part of the project. I don't think I would have did it without him. And then lastly, my homegirl, Corinne. She is my vocal coach. She lives here in Atlanta. And like one of the best people I ever met. She's a worship leader, but she's a vocalist. She actually gave me not just an awareness of how to technically approach singing, but the confidence of like, you got this. You got this. So because of her, I've auditioned for like 2 Broadway plays. I've done a couple of musical things just because of her. And like, I love Broadway. I love musicals. So it's very weird. I'm an ex-football player, but I love musicals. And I sing. I probably watch Hamilton twice a week.
Bro.
I can't wait to see Wicked. If it's a musical, I'm probably going to end up watching it. I'm probably going to end up buying it. Like Rent. I love Rent.
Bro.
It's a classic. I wasn't a fan of Cats, but
he's like, them or in real life.
Right. In real life either. I don't fool with cats. I'm like, I'm good. Let's go. But ultimately, it just became a project where God had put enough people around me to reassure me of the things that I could feel in my spirit that I was like, well, I'm going to sing. I'm going to go ahead and sing these songs. And then singing them was just courageous effort.
Well, can I brag on Tadashii?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Courageous effort, but externally it was like leaning into a gift that you have.
Amen. Okay.
Because when you listen to the Christmas song, track 1, yo, you really singing, bro.
Yeah.
My man, like you didn't. Okay, I agree. Your point about the classics, like if you're gonna sing Christmas songs that are performed by generally really accomplished vocalists, you can't really kind of play around,
Right?
Because people are gonna judge it, like they're looking for the notes. But I was like, man, I feel like I'm in whatever feeling I get when I hear like kind of like Frank Sinatra, like that classic vocalist, that rustic, 50s, 60s vibe. That's what I'm getting when I'm. You have a very classic tone, bro.
Thank you, bro.
And it landed. I was like, yo, Tadashii out here messing around and he's doing like something different. And you're so externally people know you as a rapper. How does it feel to like show that gift, lean into it, and not feel like, man, you know, I don't have to always, you know, lean on being like just a rapper, but I can use my singing gift in a way that's unique for me.
Yeah,
how did that feel like doing that?
I'm not gonna lie, it felt really good.
Yeah.
It did. One, reach is not for anybody watching and listening. Let's be clear. Reach is not a place to come to and play around. Like, even though I've been here from the beginning, this is not a place.
Hiding my face.
Right. This is not a place to show up and be like, hey man, what you think? And it not be up to par. Because they will let you know. They are loving humans.
Who are these they people?
But they will let you know.
Look at me.
You're probably on his couch.
They is a collection of individuals, one of which is sitting here with us, not wearing burgundy shoes. And
I got them burgundy.
But I'm telling you, I was like, okay, if they like it, then man, like Ben came to me when he heard Christmas Call and he was like, this is a hit. Like, this isn't just a good song. This is a hit. And I was like, for real? I was like, it's just fun. And he was like, no, bro, I don't think you get it. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Okay. So just even if only this building heard the music, I would feel accomplished because people here don't play. And I value the opinions of people here. So I'm like, yes, let's go. So it was easier to put it to the public after that. And honestly, out of the hundreds of comments that I've seen about it, only one have I read where somebody was like, man, you need to be rapping. Like,
but that's cap though.
Right, I feel that. But I feel like but just for it to be, I expected many, I'm not gonna lie. Really? But for it to just be one, I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess, all right. And now I'm getting, because the season is really nearing more, I'm getting more and more text messages from people who know me like, yo, this is really good.
Yeah.
And I think that was the beauty of it is for me, the fun is the shock.
Yeah.
It is kind of a shocker.
Yeah.
You like, Tadashii out here singing. We're
like,
hitting the phone.
Yeah.
Like, what?
They're like, oh, it's really good. Like, that's the fun for me. I'm like, good. Because I guess for some reason you assume I'm going to put out bad music one day.
No, I think it's the Christmas singing people don't know.
Yeah, that's real.
Like but you sung in like Glee Club before. Let's talk about
I sang it. So shout out to the Christians in college who are too saved to do the carnal stuff, and the only option for you is to join the gospel choir or to go to BSM. Shout out to y'all, because it's a ton of us out there who had nothing else to do and nowhere to go without feeling sinful or guilty or convicted, and all you had was BSM, gospel choir, and that dumb Mafia game that everybody wants you to play in college.
Y'all talked about
I'm
that
so
last
sick of
episode?
Mafia. Like, I'm like, yo, why are we still doing Taboo and Mafia? Please give us some more games. We save, but we not boring.
Oh, that's
come
so
on,
funny.
bruh. Come on, man. Can we do something else? Yo, bro. So in college, I remember going, I want to be around other Christians and I gotta stop. So I went to Baylor, and in Waco, Texas, where Baylor is, back in the day, there used to be a club called Club Deviate. If that wasn't a prophetic moment in my life.
What a name for a club.
It's crazy.
We're gonna deviate. It's like, first of all, it's too proper. If you're gonna name a club, deviate is not it. Like, that's just not. That don't feel like ain't nothing popping there, bro.
Oh my god!
It was a wild spot. It was one of the few, but it was a wild. I mean, there was ladies in cages. It was a wild spot. Mirrors on the wall.
Oh, no.
I have mirrors on the wall.
It was like low-key hood, but still enough classy for people to go to. Bruh. And like, didn't really serve food. So you just went there to drink and dance. That's all you did.
All kind of
It was foolishness, bruh. But for me, once I got saved, all the athletes be like, you going out tonight? I'm like, nah, man, I don't go out no more. Oh, you lame now. I'm like, whatever, I get it. And then I'd be proud, like, man, yeah, I'm standing for what I believe in. And then I call Christians, like, what we doing tonight? We're playing Taboo. Yo, man.
We're not going to Club DVA. We're playing Taboo. Come on, bro.
I was so mad. I was like, I hate Taboo with all my heart now.
Oh, my gosh.
But it was either Taboo, Mafia, or Pictionary. I was so sick of them games, bro. So, or this is when I knew I needed new friends. When one day we hung out in the mugs, it was like, you want to play Yahtzee? And I was like,
oh, yeah. We might as well pull
I was like, I'm out.
then.
I was like, I'm out. I'm going to go.
Pull up the DVA.
I was like, I'm out, man.
Might as well go evangelize that DVA.
All right. I'm out, man. I can't be here no more. So, but legitimately, man, I would find myself, honestly, bro, trying to get with groups that were living the life. And the gospel choir at Baylor, Heavenly Voices was the gospel choir. And that's where I started singing with them. And I had this moment. So different colleges would have a gospel fest where they invite all the choirs in from around the state, and we would all go there and sing. And this was your moment to shine. Like, you finna go, like, you worshiping God, but you finna go show out. You finna go show out.
Look,
you know? So I go with the choir. I'm not officially a part of the choir, but I'm cool with a bunch of people, so I go. I go there. They sing. I forget if I was there on stage or not. I think I did sing with them. But I was probably 2 months into the faith. And as I'm sitting there and watching what's going on in front of me, it was probably 500 Black college students singing unto God. Like, tears falling. It was people in the audience crying. And there was worship happening. And for me growing up, even though church religiously is a part of culture, I didn't experience what it meant to really worship God. And I'm a new Christian, and I go outside, and I remember reading in the Bible somewhere where it said David would go on the roof and pray. And I remember going outside and dropping on my knees at Texas A&M and looking up to the sky like, God, I ain't got no ladder to get on the roof, but ain't no roof between us now. Help me worship you the way I'm supposed to. I just remember feeling so close to God in those environments and in those moments. And so that's kind of where I first engaged learning how to sing, because gospel choirs don't play. They don't play. Like, if you ever been in a gospel choir, you know the moment where you're singing and the director like, oh, stop, everybody stop. Hey, sit down, everybody sit down. Tenors, stand up. We're going to go one at a time.
Oh, man.
We're going to see.
I hate them moments.
We're going to see.
Where's the moose?
Bro, one at a time. Everybody else sitting there watching.
Boy.
I mean, my heart was racing. They don't, you know this?
Then listen, I used to sing on the choir, and her name was Sister Felicia. I'll never forget. We would be on stage in church, in Kids Church. We would be on stage, and when she hears someone, she will come on stage and stand by you to hear if you're the one that's off.
That's
and if
it.
you were, she would grab your hand and take you off that stage. She wasn't playing no games.
Bro, we were at a competition, and they came and stood next to me, and they leaned in like this, and I'll never forget. He said, DeJuan was like, you flat, pick it up. Pick it up. You flat, pick it up. Never mind, come with me. And he walked me off the riser down into the audience, and I stood and watched in my choir robe, watched the rest of the performance. I mean, oh my goodness.
Bro, the gospel, they don't play.
They don't play.
Man.
Like, how I'm going to holler at a girl after this and you done took me off stage, bruh? Because that's also why we went, unfortunately.
Man, we can talk about this probably for hours. We are way past time.
Oh, yeah. So
my bad. I'm sorry.
This is good. I don't even know what. Can you just give people some holiday, some send away, something to encourage them with?
Is this it? We ending?
Yeah.
We ending?
Because, I mean, after my man yanked you off the choir stage, I don't know what else to
back
say.
from that.
Yo,
I don't
man.
know how you actually came back from that.
Yo, man, I went back. I had to work. I had to put in work.
You had to go.
I had to put in work.
'Tis the season is a fulfillment of those moments.
Amen.
Because you sounded them notes. That's good. You ain't flat on those albums.
No, not at all, bro. Not at all. And I purposely was like, don't please. Unfortunately, culturally, musically, everybody sings with auto-tune just because the sonics of it. But I'm like, not a lot. I don't want that. I want to be authentic. I want to be as real as possible. So 'Tis the Season is a project that really is authentic to me. It came out of a spirit of how much I really do love Christmas and what it's about, what it represents, and the experiences I had. And I wanted music that complements that for everybody. Yeah. The Silent Night record, I purposely did Silent Night the way I did it. I start a cappella for a reason because I wanted to honor the tradition. And then I wanted to do something island to pay homage to my Polynesian heritage. And so that my Samoan family would be like, oh, we'll listen to this one. But I wanted to honor that part of me. So I made it my own, but I wanted to honor the original first. And then also I know for radio, if they do play it, they'll probably edit out the island part. So at least they'll play the first part. So, but regardless, Christmas to me, man, is just one of the best times of the year because it's a time where people really do fight to be together. Even though it's dudes out here hustling, taking penitentiary chances, taking packages off porches in Atlanta, it's still a time of unity, a time of love, a time of giving. And honestly, I really do feel like I'm around a good group of people that keep the main thing, and put Jesus first because he's the reason.